Would you like to learn a move? Magic friends.
Hello. Today I'm going to teach you a control that you can use as a utility move for so many things. Now I won't explain what you can use it for until I go into the tutorial. Please don't ask me where the control comes from. I don't know. There are so many moves and controls nowadays, especially with a pack of cards, that it's difficult to keep up. But the move isn't mine. The end of the move, where I make an addition to it, is mine. Well, it's not my move, but
is absolute dog shit.
You'll see what I mean. It's two moves I put together, basically. So without further ado, here's what it looks like so you can get an idea, and then we'll go into the tutorial. Now you have a spectator touch the back of any card they like, and you show them the card. You push it in the top half and you push the two halves together. And that sets you up so that you can literally pull the card out of any place you like, signed or not. Okay, so the first move is to control the selection to the bottom, and you do it like this. You spread the cards out like this and tell them to touch the back of any one. It is a free selection, and say for instance they touch the back of this one. You turn it over, but you leave the cards in this hand spread like this. Turn it over to show them or to get them to sign it in your hand like this. And when you're done with that, you turn it back over and you push it into this half of the pack between the bottom two or bottom three cards like this. Okay, and you'll notice it goes in pretty fairly like that. But as you push the card over, you'll notice that it frees itself from the other card, sort of in a modified cull almost. And when you push it in like this, it's now in a cull position. The selection is in a cull position. So when you close the pack, you put this half on top of that half, and as you close it, you just basically put the card onto the bottom. But let me show you that again from the bottom view, and then we will discuss it further. Okay, so hopefully this makes you understand the move a little bit better. You spread the cards over to get the selection touched on its back. Then you turn the card over. This happens to be the two of hearts. You turn it back over and you push it between the bottom two or the bottom three cards of this spread section. And as you pull it over, it frees itself from the rest of the cards in a sort of modified cull. You push it square with the rest of the spread, and therefore it is still in a cull position. I don't know if you can see that. It's still culled. Then when you square both halves of the pack, you simply open the gap between the card further with this hand, and you can control the card to the bottom. It's not too difficult, the first part. So you spread it. Let's go through it again. Turn it over so you can see the card. You put it underneath the top two or three cards. You cull it, and then you put it on the bottom, just like so. Now, I've decided that it would be a nice follow through to put it into a gambler's cop into this hand as you're squaring up the pack. Okay, if you don't know how to do a gambler's cop, you can look for it, and there will be many tutorials for a gambler's cop. But basically what a gambler's cop looks like is that. So when you see the hand from the front, you don't see the card at all, but the hand is very natural, and you'll see there's quite a bit of angle play here. It's not as angle sensitive as you think. Most magicians will be worried about this section, but as long as you remember to leave this knuckle facing the eyes of the spectator, you've actually got quite a lot of play. You literally have to turn your hand so far out in order to see that corner that you don't have to worry about it. It's perfect, okay, for an audience that's in front of you. And how that works in conjunction with that other move, fancy word, how it works in conjunction with that other move is you start the move like normal. You turn the card over again, you put it in the pile. Now from this position, when you're squaring it up, instead of putting it flush with the pack, you pull it down you pull this card down a bit. And if you practice this a little bit, you'll realize that it already goes into a gambler's cop when you pull the card down a little bit. Okay, so you can square the pack up quite nicely and then put it down, and then you've got an ideal gambler's cop position where you can either get the spectator to shuffle the pack and you can put the card back on the pack, or you can take the pack and do like the card and do like a card to wallet kind of thing. So let's go through that move again. You do the move like normal. You show them the card. You put it in the top two cards, over and square. And instead of pushing it flush with the pack, you pull the card down into a gambler's cop and you square all the cards except for this card, obviously. And you can give it to them to shuffle, or you can do a card to pocket, or whatever you'd like. Okay, now I'll do the move once more just for thoroughness with the card face up. Okay, you put the card in there, you square it like that, and you pull it down into a gambler's cop as you squaring up the pack, and there you go. That's the move. And I cannot tell you how useful this move can be.
I am the devil. Good evening.
With a little thought, you'll realize how useful that can be. Just replacing their card in the center of the deck before it's shuffled or anything happens, you're already one step ahead, having the card in a palm position before the trick has even really begun. And you can do a myriad of different things. You can do a bottom deal by replacing the card on the bottom of the pack. You can do a card to pocket. And if you don't like the idea of putting it in a gambler's cop at the end of the move, you can simply do a Mercury card fold or a bottom palm. But generally the move is good because it uses the gambler's cop. It sort of goes directly into that position when you close and square the pack. And there's nothing more casual than closing and squaring the pack up before you give it to someone. That's so natural, and Di Vernon, I think, would have loved it. And I think you're going to love it. Please like and subscribe, and I will keep teaching you awesome, practical magic that you don't only have to do for camera. Thanks, guys.
On it! You did a good job, Doc.